It was like 550 euros per sale.
So about
Yes.
4 grand in revenue.
Most of our brand photography clients are old students. So in the future, we are expecting some done-for-you clients.
Those sales 1 month, 6 sales the next month, 2 partners, 100% success rate. That's legitimately impressive. Well, thanks for joining us. Why don't you give us a high-level overview of what your business is? So what's the URL, what's the name, and what problem do you solve?
Yeah, so we're called Creator Academia, and we are helping entrepreneurs like how to take better photos for social media to really like unlock all the potential that social media marketing has to offer. So we're helping entrepreneurs like how to use their camera, how to take better photos, how to organize them, and create a really good social media strategy to get a lot of clients from mainly Instagram. So that's what we're doing on the high level.
So I have a running inside joke amongst several friends that all of the ads and different pictures we post of me publicly are from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I regularly get roasted. Had one yesterday and this morning, 2 different people text with a screenshot of one of our ads or posts saying like, who is this person and what's going on? So I'm assuming that the services are meant to help people like me who have really old and really bad headshots or equivalent on their ads and organic posts. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct, exactly. And just to bring like the authentic themselves like in front of their audience, so just to show up as they are and as the personality of the business is.
So walk us through the most popular products. What's the product suite like, and what's the price points of them?
Yeah. So our main product is an online course that's 8-week course where we go from A to Z, like how to find a really good camera for you and your price range and your industry and so on, then how to learn how to use a camera, and then just with like a couple hours a month, how to create a photo library for your social media, like that's like for the whole month. Yeah. So you use one work day a month. Usually it's just like a couple hours. And then with our system, you can create this photo library that just like is full of very different photos for your business. And then it's going to take you a long way. Yeah. So that's what we do. So yeah, that's the first product that we have. And that's the main thing that we focus on. We also do like custom brand photography. So if this is something that you want to outsource or part of this photo library stuff you want to outsource, then we can take the photo library for you. So instead of just buying like generic like stock photos that look like nothing like your business, then you can just order us to do the whole thing for you and make it look just like your business.
And what's the price points of those two different, the course and the done for you?
Yeah, the course it's let's see, it's 650 euros, and then the custom photography is about 1,500 euros.
Okay, and is that primarily, you live in Finland, so is that primarily service offered in Finland, or do you travel?
It's only in Finland and only in Finnish. Yeah.
So you won't come to Nashville and fix our terrible photo problems.
If you pay our flights, then we'll go anywhere.
All right, well, we might take you up on that.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all run a monthly webinar, and what's the purpose of the monthly webinar that you run?
So the purpose is to have like a consistent flow of new people coming to our email list in between launches. So we do only 2 launches a year, even though the program is like evergreen, but we have this kind of like a promo periods where we talk more about it. So like before we had a problem with that our email list didn't really grow in between launches. So we launched again and again for the same people, and it didn't really work out after some time. And then we started doing the monthly webinars, and we started growing our email list in between launches, like every single month.
So how does doing an internal webinar grow the list?
So we started.
That would just be promoted to your list itself, so that won't grow. So what's the growth mechanism?
So we actually invite partners to invite their audience to our webinar.
Yeah.
So we have like 2 to 3 partners per webinar, and then we send them like email templates, and they can invite their list to our webinar. Yeah.
That makes sense. So recently you had a big win with your webinar, which is the reason and the main topic of our conversation. So tell us, let's go to the end. What was the result of your recent win with your webinar?
Yeah. So usually we have gotten about 100 people to our webinar just by inviting our own people. But this was the first monthly webinar that we got some partners to do the inviting thing with us. So we had 2 partners, and they sent a couple of emails to their list, and we got over 500 signups for the webinar. Yeah. So that was like 5 times what we usually do, and it was very effortless to just send them a couple of email templates, and then we got a lot of people.
So how did you identify the partners? Maybe 2 questions. How did you identify the partners, and what's the win for them? What's in it for them?
Yeah, so these are like long-term partners. So every time we go through the like the partner process. So in the video chat, we kind of try to find out what we can do for them, and then always our win is to grow our email list at this stage. So sometimes it's enough for them that they just get like free content to share to their audience, and they're good to go with that. And sometimes we do an email swap. So they have a webinar coming in 6 months or something, and then we promise to do the same thing for them. So both of these partners that we had here, we had a deal like this. So they had their webinar later, and then we're just gonna do it like vice versa after some time.
Yeah. So where did you find them at? How did you come across them?
We followed basically just to the T the whole process that we get in the program. So we've tried to ask some questions like what other industries serve the same clientele, and then like is there like a content gap that their audience needs, better photos for social media, but these people don't want to teach it themselves, but they know that their audience would benefit from it. So we just like wrote down a lot of names to our Dream 50 list, and then just started contacting them one by one, and that's how we found them.
So these are just ice cold people you don't have existing relationships with or anything. You search and find them and email them.
Yeah, that's right. It was just random people. Yeah.
That's really impressive. So how many people did you send emails to get 2 people that actually promoted?
Well, I don't know like why it has been so easy here. Maybe it's because it's like a smaller country, but we have had like really good success rate with partners. So basically like almost everyone who we contact with wants to come to the video call with us. Yeah. And then so far, every single person we have had the video call with has turned out to be like there has been some project together. So everyone has agreed to a partnership with us. So yeah, that's been really really great.
That's extremely impressive, by the way. Like 100% pitch to success rate is unheard of for anybody. So I would love to get a copy of the pitches you're sending and calls if you haven't recorded, so I can learn from them. And I'm sure people watching will want to do the same thing. All right, so you make a list of random, they're not totally, I mean, they're random to you. You don't know who they are. The people that seemingly would have audiences that, would be interested in what you do, your course and your services. You email them, they agree to these first 2 people agree to promote your monthly webinar. What do they do to promote it? Like, how do they get their people to it?
So they just sent out like 2 invite emails to their own list, and we provided the email template. So basically, we almost copy pasted the template that we use to invite our own audience, and we just changed a couple sentences here and there. So that's what we just sent them this, and then you can modify this to your language if you want to, or like to fit your brand, and then they just send it to their list. Yeah.
Well, and so you get 500 or so new subscribers. Typically, you get 100. How many sales were generated from it?
From that specific webinar, we got 6 sales, which was very nice surprise, because the previous webinar that we did, we didn't get any sales. That was the first webinar ever that we didn't get any sales from, and that was so depressing. And we were like, something has to change. So we switched up some things inside the webinar, and then we invited the partners so that we're not just like promoting the same webinar every month to the same group of people. So yeah, those two things like combined really led up to 6 sales.
So 6 sales, and remember the price point of the course? Is it 600 euro?
Yeah, it was, we had like a promo in that webinar. So it was like 550 euros per sale. Yeah.
So that, I was just doing quick math, 550 times 6. So about 4 grand in revenue. Any done for you clients come from that?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Did you get any done for you clients from that by chance?
Not yet, but we have seen in long term, like most of our brand photography clients are our old students inside the course. Right. So at some point they want to outsource at least one category in their photo library building process, and usually it's photos of themselves. So they maybe want to take the other photos like inside a team, but then they want to outsource their own photos. So in the future we are expecting some that like done for you clients as well, but it's going to take a little bit longer time. Yeah,
good job, by the way. I mean, no sales 1 month, 6 sales the next month, 2 partners, 100% success rate between pitch and getting them to promote. Like that's legitimately impressive.
Thank you. Really you have a good like pitch template. We just use that. we have added like one thing to it though, that is like we use the same pitch template, and we have gotten a lot of like compliments, by the way, from partners. That most of them have said like thank you so much for going like so thoroughly through our stuff, and like we really appreciate this, and this is like the first kind of like partner proposition that really like caught our eye and so on. But one thing that we have done is that like about 1 week before we approach a partner, we go to their social media and we like their photos, and we maybe send them some like DMs and some comments, so that even like unconsciously, at least they have seen our name somewhere. So then when we contact them, there has been a little bit something before that. Yeah.
That's really smart. The 2 partners that you're reaching out to, what is their size, like audience size, or I guess compared to yours? Are they way bigger, about the same size, smaller? I'm just kind of curious.
It's about the same size. So at this point, I think we had like 2,500 people maybe in our email list. So they had about similar size, a little bit bigger. I think they had like a 3,000 something, but around there.
So what happens next? Is this a monthly thing, trying to get a couple of partners to promote every monthly webinar? How's that going?
We have actually, like, now that we have this monthly webinar going, we have like a method where we usually ask every partner that if they want to participate in 2 of these webinars within the year. And in December last year, we mapped out all the webinar dates for the whole year for us. So we now have all the dates for this year. And then we just send it to them and say that, okay, like you can pick and choose every 2 dates here. And then whatever you want us to do for your business, like let's discuss how we can like return this favor for you. So sometimes it's like we invite our people to their something lead magnet or anything. Or sometimes, you know, we go and take a couple headshots for them, and then that's like the value for them. Or sometimes that's just enough that they're just like super happy to get free content shared for their audience.
Yeah, that's good. So what does the schedule look like over the next 12 months? How many of those have you got filled so far?
Yeah, I think we have, let's see, maybe we have about half of the webinars. We have one partner. Okay. So so it's we have only had 1 webinar so far in this year. So we have 11 left. Yeah,
that's great. What's been the hard part about this? Like, what's been more challenging than you anticipated?
Like in the whole partner webinar thing. I don't know. It has been more easier than I anticipated.
It does overall seem that way. That's why I was like, it seems unusually easy, actually. So I'm curious if there's been a part that's been challenging so far.
Well, okay, there's one thing that comes to mind. Like in the beginning, we always suggested our partners that we're gonna do an email swap.
Mhm.
And then we realized that almost weekly we have to send stuff
Right.
to our email list about them.
Yeah.
And there's no room for our own like nurturing weekly things. So then we switched it. So we just like said that, okay, like we first tried to find something else
Mhm.
than just to put all the stuff to our email list as well.
Yeah.
And then like for example, once we had a little we got like feedback from our own audience member that we had promoted one of our partners webinar, and then this audience member sent us a message that, like, by the way, this webinar that you promoted, like, it wasn't that great. Like, I have been to your webinars and your webinars are better. So I was kind of like disappointed to see that, you know, these other webinars are not so great always. But she kind of like did it as a compliment for us. She was like,
Yeah.
just keep up with your good work, because like it looks like not everyone is doing it like you do.
Yeah.
But then we kind of felt a little bit bad that, okay, maybe we should, you know, check out first what the webinar is like before we promote it to our list. And that's a lesson we learned there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you profit share on the webinar, or is the win for them primarily you promoting? Meaning, of the $4,000 or so you got, did you split that with a partner, or was it all about the re-promotion of them when the time came?
We don't like do any money transfers like with this monthly webinar, but we do have like an affiliate thing going on when we have a launch. Yeah. So we have a separate launch webinar. And then within that webinar, we give them a discount code that they can give it to their clients. And then we give them 20% of anything that people use that code for. Yeah. So that's the deal. Yeah.
That makes sense. Good. That's good. What's the hardest thing? So zoom out of partnerships, monthly webinars. Yeah. What's the hardest thing in business right now? What's the biggest obstacle you're working on?
The biggest obstacle is probably that to know like where to prioritize our time sometimes, because we are two people and both of us are personalities who get very excited about all the new plans and all the new stuff.
I get that.
So sometimes it's hard to stay patient and just like continue with the strategy that you have chosen. So in the past, we have seen, like we have experienced that we just like start something and it doesn't work out right away. And then we switch to a new strategy. And now we are just hitting pause and okay, what we start, we're just gonna go all in and trust the process. So that's what we're doing with partners, and it has really started to pay off. Yeah.
That's great. Like there's a lot of wisdom in that. I can't tell you how many times I've done the exact same thing you're talking about. We finally had an aha moment about it a few years ago. And because the deal is, you know this, I know this, any of the strategies will work.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, is it going to be in the 3-month time range or 12 months? Like somewhere between 3 and 12 months, if you just doggedly do not let it go and keep optimizing, keep improving, all of them will work for sure. It's just a matter of like, what's my personal attention span?
Exactly.
And can I commit and ignore the other shiny objects, which is really hard sometimes because they're shiny for a reason, like they're interesting and attractive.
Yeah.
And, so I feel you on that. That's a real thing.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. What are your big goals for the year? Anything you're looking forward to throughout 2023?
Yeah, so we have our big thing for this year is that we want to take a lot of paid time off and then grow the business while we are gone. So that's why we have 2 team members who do very little time. It's both of them do about 5 hours a week, so it's not a lot. But we have tested during Christmas that both of us owners, we were away for 3 weeks, no email, no social media, like nothing, no work related stuff. And then we got like a little bit over 100 people to our email list and some sales during that time. Yeah. So we just want to like see our business grow when we are not working. So that's going to be a big thing for this year.
Amen to that, by the way. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Just working yourself till you're absolutely exhausted and then collapsing out. That's a big deal.
Yeah, because I'm also like trained to be a teacher, and at least in Finland, like teachers have amazing holidays and all the benefits about that.
Yeah.
So I have set myself a goal that if I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I want to take as much time off as I would if I were a teacher.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge that I have like given myself for this year, that I'm going to do that. Yeah.
That's a great creative restraint.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about 12 weeks. So yeah, we'll see. But I did that last year already, so I'm just gonna keep up with the same strategy.
I did my first sabbatical last year and took the month of April off, and we were just looking over the year and everything. It was our best sales month of the year.
Wow.
Was the month that didn't work. Like, great. What does that mean about me? Anyway, it's all positive, but it was also like, I don't even know what to think about this. But I'd much rather that happen than the opposite happen. So that's
exactly.
Is there anything I can help you with? Any question or current obstacle or something in the business that I can help with?
Oh, thanks for asking. Well, we do have a plan to, because we're teaching how to use their cameras. So we do have a plan to contact all the big camera brands during this year as well. So that's just something like we have known that at some point we should like really put time and effort into, create partnership with them. And that's just like, it feels like a totally new thing to contact like huge brands like Canon or Nikon. So maybe for that, like, is there anything to keep in mind, like, because instead of just like approaching small businesses that we have done so far, like how to approach these bigger brands, and then, just do it maybe a little bit, I don't know, just like what is different in that sense, if you get what I mean.
Well, zoom to the end real quick. Let's say you could wave your magic wand and get them to do whatever you wanted. Say Nikon will do whatever you ask them. What do you want? What's the win for you?
I would say that they will send to their whole email list an invite to one of our webinars.
Yeah, that
would be it. That we will get like 1,000 people from their list to our webinar.
You'd get a lot more than 1,000, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. So a couple of ways you can think about this. One is, do they do that currently? Like, do they have any precedent at all for doing that kind of promotion you want?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I do know that they use like brand ambassadors and influencer marketing, but I don't know if they do like free trainings, or we could do even like a free lead magnet just for them. Like, for example, how to get started with your first Nikon as an entrepreneur, something like this. Like, we could happily do that, but I don't know if they have done it yet.
Well, two things. One, it's totally possible to partner with them. That's definitely doable. And second thing, your time horizon you need to think on with the bigger the brand, especially giant brands, it just takes longer. And those are okay. Both of those things are fine. So if you start working on it now, by the end of the year, one of the big camera makers, you can definitely do a partnership of some type with. Usually the bigger the partner, the more flexible and creative you need to be on what they wind up doing. And I love, you go into a call with them, whoever, and it might be a sub brand, or it might be, Canon Africa or Canon Finland, or I don't know how their company's divided up. I'm sure it's divided in divisions, and there's many marketing people across multiple divisions and product suites and whatever. So my guess is, and this is a guess, there's not one giant Canon email list, but there are lots of subsets of people that do different things. So I love starting. I don't know if they have a subsidiary or a business unit in Finland. I would guess they do. And you've had such good success with people in Finland already. Smaller country, it's worked really well. What I would do, step one would be, I would go stalk Finland Canon, like where the store's at. Go to LinkedIn and like see if you can find the subsidiary. Maybe it's Canon Finland, and just look at every person that works there. Maybe there's like a VP of marketing or a chief marketing officer of Canon Finland. And there's probably, I imagine, I don't know the architecture of Canon and all how they're divided up as a company, but I'm sure there's many different business units. I just want a mental image of what all is going in the country of Finland for Canon. who's every human in there that I need to pay, that has a marketing job, and I'm going to follow them all on social. I'm going to join all their personal blogs if they have them. I don't want to get into the DNA of Canon Finland or whatever the equivalent is. And then I'm just going to be looking for what they want. I'm follow them on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and just understand, like, literally, how do they do their job? What are they doing? And looking for an opportunity, one, to just connect with them. And I'm not even going to start with partnership stuff. I'm going to start with, like, hey, I just would love to talk with you. We do, headshots for social media influencers and taking good pictures. I'd love to just understand how you do your job and, like, learn from you, be open for that. So it's way more typically of a slow play, especially than going to like a person with 2,000 email subscribers. Now, I'll give you one story related to this. There was a big influencer that I identified 5 or 6 years, or maybe even longer ago. And 3 years later, we finally, I didn't even know what the partnership would be. So I never even asked. I just built relationship, contributed to a membership site they had. And then 3 years later, we did a partnership, and we get 35,000 email subscribers over 30 days.
Wow.
That's a needle mover. That makes a difference. So the whole time I'm like, I know I want to do something. I don't know what the thing is. So let me just get to know. Let me help. Let me, like, find out, like, and the whole time just asking, like, does this feel like this is headed somewhere? I don't have to have the definitive endpoint. I know eventually, if I help them and it feels about right, like, this is going to be a win for me too. But I don't even know what the win would be, because I don't know their company well enough. And I know the bigger they get, the more constraints they have on what they can practically do. But the bigger the influence. So it could be, the endpoint could look a lot of different ways for y'all. It could look like, them recommending you to all of their brand partners, and you partnering with these 37 brand partners. It could be they email you. It could be any number of things. And I would just keep a fairly open mind and open hand to it. But start by building relationship and just genuinely getting to know the handful of people that matter in Canlin, Finland, or Canon, Finland, and Nikon, or whatever the other manufacturers are, and just keep creatively open to what it could look like, and just get to know them and help them and give them feedback, and whatever that looks like for them. And that always pays off 100% of the time. Maybe not in 6 months. It might be a year. It might be 3 years. For me, it was 3 years with one of the bigger influencers that we partnered with. But man, it can have a gigantic impact. And if you have a half dozen of companies like that you're working on at all times, like, you get a year or two from now, and, like, they're gigantic needle movers in the business. But they are, we would call them, like, in sales, well accounts. And well accounts just take a lot longer to land than little fish that you would catch. So sometimes they pop quick, like, you never really know. But that would be the general approach I would take to that.
Yeah, that's a really good advice. And that's also, I think that's a really good, like, mindset to have, that we're not looking for quick wins or, overnight thing with them, that we're just, like, building a long-term thing, and it's okay if it's going to take some time. Totally. So thank you for that.
Keep landing your small ones and start working your big ones, and just have the mindset it'll be a year or more before the big ones hit. And hey, if you get lucky and they hit earlier, fantastic, that's rare. But you've done a lot of rare stuff already. You've sent all pitches. Yes. So I'm like, maybe I'll land Canon tomorrow, I don't know, but
nothing's
probably not. Like, that's probably not going to happen, but you can start the relationship tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Susanna, tell people how they can find and learn more. If they're like me and have terrible social media pictures, they have headshots from many hairstyles ago, and people regularly make fun of them. Tell people how they can find out more about you and what you do.
You can come to say hi for us in Instagram. It's Creator Academia. So if you know Finnish, then it's even better for you. But even if not, you can just say hi to us in any language you speak. We'll translate it.
Well, thank you so much. And we might seriously be following up with you to fly to here. Pictures if you're at all interested.
Do it. We both travel to the States every now and then. My partner has family there. So why not?
Well, thank you so much. And I hope the snowfall is great, and you're very quiet in the next room playing with Lego. So fantastic.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Brian.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. See you around.
Bye.